I was waiting for Carrie to tell me what to do. Fall of 1992, Sandy and I, my habibi, that's an inside joke because every night when we record this rosary from our living room and then send it out, these rosary meditations, I introduce who is ever in the room, and they're all self-appointed titles. And Sandy is my habibi. It's Arabic for my dear one, the one that I love, my habibi. So if you ever wonder who's my habibi, that's who it is. In the fall of 1992, Sandy and I got married on August 8th, early fall, late summer, 1992. 2 weeks later, we went to Steubenville. The first people that welcomed us at Steubenville were Curtis and Michael Ann Martin. And then we went to a graduate introduction dinner, and we had to all introduce ourselves, and I got up and said, Sandy and I, we just got married August 8th, and then we came here. We sat down, and then Troy stood up and said, we just got married on August 8th, and we came here. And I thought, this guy is a smart. And they really did. They were married the same day and then came to Steubenville. And there we had a chance to study with Curtis Martin, Tim Gray, Ted Sri, Troy, and last and least of all, myself, study under Dr. Scott Hahn. And then, who could have known in God's providence what would take place over the next 27 years, and that we would all be gathered here this evening, and all the great good that's been done throughout all those years. And the last time I saw Ted at Steubenville, Tim Gray and I filled his car with leaves to the brim right before he was supposed to drive out of town. I don't know if he's forgiven me yet. You forgot about that?
I forgot, but I haven't forgiven.
Troy's been my closest friend for 27 years. We would walk around the grounds of Steubenville. He would prepare me for the test, and then I would get a better grade than him. It was Ted Sri, Monsignor Vince Crisci, tried to get Ted Sri to come to KU and start a program. And Ted said, no. But I know a guy crazy enough to do it. So Monsignor Crisci at KU called my house in Dayton, got my wife on the phone, and said, I'd like to interest you in coming to Kansas. My wife said, hell no. That next fall, we came to Kansas. Started a program at KU, forming the students in their faith, and what grew out of that was Archbishop Kelleher inviting us down to Kansas City to broaden the ministry to parishes. And then under Archbishop Naumann, we started the Holy Family School of Faith. Archbishop Naumann, Steve Sharp, John Mangini, Rich Henry. And the IRS wouldn't let us have just the School of Faith. They said it was too short. So we belong to the Holy Family. That's why I love that for our picture up there, it's just Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's just Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. So, and since then, we've been inviting young adults and older adults to become disciple makers by immersing them in the teachings of Jesus, virtue, and deep life of prayer, and then using one-on-one discipleship, small group formation, large group evangelization. And you saw in the video a number of things that we do. We've been partnering with parishes to form mission teams out of ordinary parishioners so that they can fill up the pews and then send them out on mission. We form Catholic school teachers. It's been a great joy the hundreds, I think we've taken 300 Catholic school teachers to the Holy Land through the generosity of people like you out there. I was standing in Hy-Vee one night to get coffee about 9 o'clock. And this guy came around the corner and he said, you're the School of Faith guy. And I said, I'm just here to get some coffee. He's like, no. You took my daughter's second grade teacher to the Holy Land, and she talks to my daughter about Jesus every day. She's on fire. And now the only thing my daughter can talk about is that Jesus is real. We lead people to a deep life of prayer, but then they need spiritual directors. So at the request of Archbishop Naumann, we form ordinary people just like you to be spiritual mentors. And we teach the faith on both sides of the state line. We're this odd city with one city, two dioceses, but two of the best bishops in the country, right? And if God wills, with this wonderful collaboration with Bishop Johnston, more and more forming young people in Kansas City, young adults, City on the Hill, this fantastic ministry. But I have to tell you, one of the greatest surprises for me and the greatest joy is this audio rosary that we've been sending out every night. Everywhere I go, people talk about the rosary. They're praying the rosary. In fact, I was taking, literally, I'm telling you the truth, I was taking a walk in my neighborhood last night, and a mom with 3 little kids stops me, and she says, I've been listening to the rosary. And she waves her kids over, and they run up, little kids. And she said, you'll recognize this voice. And I said, welcome to our rosary meditation. And their eyes got this big, and they ran up and hugged me. That's the greatest joy imaginable, that this family is praying the rosary, and these little kids come up and hug me. But with all of this, we have to instill the fundamental DNA of every Christian. What is the fundamental DNA of every Christian? It's a deep life of friendship with Jesus in prayer. But then it's going out and living authentic friendship with others. Personal investment one-on-one, meaningful conversation, sharing life together. And then constantly multiplying by inviting others into this way of life. That's the DNA of a Christian. And if you're not doing that, what are you doing? We're in the midst of a cosmic battle. We are in the midst of a cosmic battle. It's the great battle between the woman clothed with the sun and the great red dragon, the ancient serpent, the devil. But Our Lady has promised the triumph of her immaculate heart. Ultimately, we belong to Our Lady. School of Faith, it belongs to Our Lady, and we exist to be part of this battle. And what's our most important weapon? The rosary. But also, your own personal cross, accepted and united to the cross of Jesus for souls. And then to go out through authentic friendship and share life together. Jesus and Mary are inviting us to join the battlefield. Enter the battlefield. Join the battle. I think Abbot James and the monks, they're on the battlefield. You know, Thomas Merton has this vision of these Cistercian monks. They come from the Benedictines. These Cistercian monks walking back from the field, praying their rosary. Thomas Merton sees them coming, and he sees them walking back, praying the rosary. And he has this thought that maybe they're saving the whole world from self-destruction just by their prayer. They're still saving the world from self-destruction by their prayer. I thank our Archbishop Naumann for being on the battlefield, and Bishop Johnston. But we need all of you to get in the game through a deeper life of prayer, accepting and offering your sacrifices for souls. But let us, through the School of Faith, equip you to be disciple makers. Let us help equip your parish so that you can be a disciple maker for the world. We want to take every necessary risk, every courageous venture God presents to us, and we want to do the greatest possible good for souls. But we need you to join us in this. It's not just our mission. This isn't about the School of Faith or TEDS 3 or even Benedictine College. This is about every one of us joining the battlefield, entering into the mission. It all flowed out of Monte Cassino for the last 1,500 years. But maybe for the next 1,500, it needs to flow out of Kansas City. What if by God's providence, He has brought 2 courageous bishops to one city so that the transformation could flow from here, the heart of the country? Maybe that's why we're all here. Maybe that's why we're all here. Let's be apostles of the Rosary. Share this with others.
Talk about being a pair of brown shoes in a world of tuxedos. I'm going after Ted and Mike. And I'll make it quick. No longer than 30 or 40 minutes. Mike and I have been the closest of friends since 1992, along with Ted. And we haven't been together. I was talking with Ted and his beautiful wife, Beth, earlier tonight. We haven't been together with our wives and each other for 20 years like this. So it's awesome. And being so close with Mike, the Holy Family School of Faith has grown out of our relationship, our friendship, and I wanted to work with him. Back in Steubenville, we talked about it, and we never thought it'd be possible because I'm from Colorado, he was from Iowa, my parents are from Iowa, his parents were from Iowa, and we have this kind of tight bond. But he came out in 1999 spring break to bring some college students to Denver to do the Habitat for Humanity program to build homes. And we had him over to our house and we got to talking, and he said, "You need to come out to Kansas." I said, "Mike, people from Colorado don't move to Kansas. People from Kansas move to Colorado. You need to come out here." Well, we see who won. I came out just a few months later and love it out here. I don't see myself going back to Colorado for visits. My family is here, so they still live in Colorado. As our friendship grew, so did this vision grow, and Mike was always the driver, and I was always the guy asleep in the passenger seat. And we'd get somewhere, and they'd say, "Hey, great work, you made it." And I'd be like, "Where are we? What do we do? It's fine. I'll take awards by being the guy who holds coattails." We had the honor of having Carrie Hillier come on board with us in 2009. Due to a tragedy in her family, a special needs child had passed away, Hannah, a beautiful girl who's the patron saint in some ways of Holy Family School of Faith. And our Lord knew what he was doing in preparing Carrie, because Hannah required round-the-clock, 24/7 supervision, and Mike and I require 25 hours, 8 days a week, round-the-clock supervision. And so I think there have been many times when she's been very close to breaking the 5th commandment, "Thou shalt not murder," with Mike and I, but it hasn't, and has kept us all together. Little by little, we began growing this awesome team behind me. I looked at all of us coming up here on the stage, and they're not all here. We have some team in other cities, Omaha and Cincinnati, that couldn't make it here tonight. And I'm just amazed and honored at such talented group of people who make the Holy Family School of Faith what it is. And so I just want to honor you all. Thank you all, every single one of you, for being on the Holy Family School of Faith. Now they too get to put up with Mike and Troy 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, and I'm sure sometimes they've been thinking about throwing in the towel as well. And finally, I want to thank the Benedictine monks. I've gotten to know a few of them through the years. I've known Abbot James for many years. I got to know Brother Levin through the spiritual mentorship program that Mike mentioned earlier. And I've gotten to know Father Gabriel Landis, who's become a very good friend of mine, a world traveler with me. He and I are going to Mexico this week to see Our Lady of Guadalupe, as well as many of the other monks. When I look at their life, I look at how they live their community, their prayer life, how prayer and the sacraments root them in terms of their vibrancy and their effectiveness and their mission. This has been an inspiration for us in the Holy Family School of Faith. We recognize we need to be rooted in Jesus Christ. We need to love our Lord, Our Lady, St. Joseph, the Holy Family, so that we too can be vibrant and grow and reach souls in our mission the way they do. So the fact that they wanted to honor us, Mike and I and the rest of the team couldn't figure out why, but we're glad they did. And so we want to really thank you, Abbot James, and all of the Benedictine monks. We're really, really deeply honored. So God bless you all. Thank you all for being here, and may the Lord bless you all. God bless.